Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the podcast, back to Tomboy Official. We are here. I don't know if all of us are queer, but I'm gonna guess possibly in some way. So Lily Singh's book, I lost count, around day 17? Dude, I don't even know. I think we're on day 17. I feel like I keep losing count for some reason. Day 17? I don't know. But we are doing pages 55, 56, 57. So in these pages, Lily Singh's talking about let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to see what. Okay, so about when things are kind of sucky. Now I'm not gonna try to take this to a very intense level because I'm kind of not in the mood for negativity right now. But I mean, it is true. Like, sometimes things suck. So she's kind of working with this idea that seems pretty sound to me. A quote I can take from page 57. About life. She starts talking about life and expectations of experiences. It says, in other words, we tend to draw a portrait of what life looks like without ever meeting her. When she looks different from the picture we have in our minds, that's not her fault, it's ours. Perhaps the only thing that needs to be changed is the idealized portrait we carry around in our brain. So, basically, she's speaking to this idea that, for example, I wake up in the morning, just an example. Like, this isn't even like reality. I'm drinking my cacao. Wake up in the morning just before 7 a.m. Roll over, kind of look at my phone to check what time it actually is. Realize that my phone battery is almost dead because maybe I left my phone screen on all night long. I just fell asleep like that. And I try to, get going, get up, and realize, I go to plug it in and, there's no power to the phone. I don't have a landline. I don't have an extra phone. I don't have a charged laptop. I, try a surge protector. It doesn't work. Try the circuit breakers. That doesn't help. And with the last few ounces of battery power, I look up power outages in the area and realize the power's out. Can't charge my phone. Can't charge my laptop. Start rushing around trying to figure out, okay, what can I even eat that's in the house? Find a granola bar, scarf it down, get ready to rush out of the house because I'm running late for work because of this situation, and I lock my keys in the car, but I don't have a phone, and I can't get back in the house because I locked the door, and so now I'm stuck outside in the cold, locked out, I would hate for that to happen to anybody, but that's not, it's not like it's something that would never ever happen. But most people, when they wake up, you expect, you're not going to lock your keys in the car. You expect the power is going to be working. You expect, even if you didn't like pre-plan, you probably would expect that if your phone wasn't working, okay, maybe I get a little backup. I've got, my laptop. But now you're like, well, how do I even contact work? You know, because I don't have any devices to use. And I don't even know, where's the nearest payphone? Is it within a walkable distance? I don't know. Can't catch an Uber. You could probably catch the bus, depending where you work. I don't know. Some people work really far. But you gotta try to get to work. You gotta try to get your keys. You gotta try to figure out how to get back in the house. It's kind of like a sudden situation that's just not expected. There's no way you could have predicted that this would go on. And there are solutions. It's not like it's stuff that's not that doesn't have solutions, and it's not like it's also not ideal to have to deal with that first thing in the morning. Probably a little hungry. If you only had a granola bar, you're probably not in the best of moods. But it just doesn't sound good. And then you're like kicking yourself because you're like, I should have kept the spare key, or I should have, did a hide a key rock kind of thing for the house, or I should have, And it's like, okay, now we gotta problem solve this thing. And timing's not good. Maybe the energy isn't good. Stress levels aren't good. But if I had woken up expecting nothing, or expecting very little, or expecting, things might happen, that might be an easier pill to swallow. But, we all have days where things happen that we don't like and we don't prefer, and we didn't want that thing to happen, and it happened, and now we're dealing with it, and we don't know what else to do. We don't feel good. We don't want to deal with things that we don't want to have to deal with. But, we also, sometimes it's our own fault. Sometimes we drop the ball. It's like, okay, like, you live in a house for a while and you don't have a spare key anywhere. You have a car for a while and you don't have access to a spare key. You have electronic devices, and it's not that hard to get like a backup battery kind of thing. You don't have a backup generator in your house, like nothing. I'm not saying like blame the victim, that's not ever really, but a lot of us have opportunities beforehand to make options for us to be able to resolve, kind of issues that come up. And sometimes we make those decisions to put it off too. I'm one of those people. I don't think I have a spare key somewhere for the house. I think I have one for the car. I don't know if I know where it is. I know I have a spare clicker, but those don't work because I had some weird short issue that I never really wanted to actually get fixed because I didn't want to pay. So with my stereo, my lights, when the key's not in the ignition, I can't use my power locks, things like that. I've got some weird issue that happened when my alternator went out ages ago, and I never got that fixed, and that's my own thing, and it doesn't do any good to like blame for it. It's like, well, we're already dealing with this situation now, right? So why blame? Why take the energy to blame, or to feel guilty, or to feel like mad at yourself or somebody else who didn't take care of stuff, Like, it's okay to feel however you want to feel, but it's kind of like sometimes, we just want things our way. I'm one of those people. I want things my way. I'm not like looking forward to the next, you know, problem that arises over the horizon so that I can, start my day off rocky and rough. Most of us want to have days where we just go about our business, everything goes as planned, and we don't like things that aren't predictable or aren't in the schedule or weren't part of the game plan. But shifting a perspective is not easy. There is a fine line between, not validating your own feelings or not hearing yourself out or, not allowing yourself to feel something and trying to actually like shift from that space to lean kind of more into the choice of, I want to feel good today. I want to feel better today. Where can I set my mind right now in this next hour or 20 minutes or whatever to try to not experience this, extreme stress level? Like sometimes I'm like, all right, gotta problem solve. So even if it might be awkward or inconvenient, if you have nice neighbors and you never bother them, they might let you use a phone to call your boss or whatever and to contact an Uber or whatever. And, um, they might do certain stuff to help you out. If you live near stores or whatever, they might, they probably won't, but they might be able to, like, do you a solid. Especially if you're willing to pay, you might find some option if you live within walking distance of a store of something you can pay for, that could help you out. In this kind of scenario, it's like really what you need is a cell phone and money in your bank. That would kind of resolve the majority of the issues, honestly, because you could call a locksmith, call AAA, do all the stuff you need, get an Uber to work, whatever you need, But, if you don't have access to anything, it's like, okay, there are solutions for most of us. It is possible, there's always exceptions, right? So if you live out in the middle of nowhere or whatever, but I would assume that people, this is maybe just an assumption, but I would assume that people who kind of live far out in the middle of rural areas would be more likely, hopefully, to have more backup plans than us, big city dwellers, because, if you're like 5 miles from the nearest thing, then that means that if there's something urgent, the closest thing you can walk to that would help you is 5 miles away. That's not like the easiest thing to deal with. And like it's good to kind of know, like there's no way to really even prepare for all types of emergencies, right? Like we can prepare for like different types of stuff, but it's impossible to like never maybe trip over a crack in the sidewalk and drop a coffee or something, or never, it's impossible to avoid every single negative scenario on the face of the planet. And it's just part of life, but I noticed too also when we're kind of at like a depleted state, when like say if you wake up, you're already tired, you're already grumpy, the last thing you need is more problems, rushing around and getting stressed out and all that stuff probably leads to things like locking the keys in the car or whatever. I'm not saying like I've never done it or whatever, but I've had times going to the gym where my head just wasn't even like straight and I was just kind of like trying to get to the gym. I put in my headphones and I'm just kind of multitasking too much, not paying attention. And like I said, I had some issues with the alternator that did some things to a lot of the automatic kind of stuff that was connected around, I don't know exactly, but basically some stuff seems like it kind of blew. Maybe some circuits or something, I don't know. But basically, um, you know, I've had to just take it easy, give it a bit. You know, figure something out. I can't tell you how many times I've been, because I've had an old car for so long, and then trying to like get in touch with AAA or a tow truck, and my phone battery is like maybe not in the best place. But have I ever purchased a backup battery? No, not yet. Or a backup charging device? No, not yet. But I've had multiple times, even recently when I was at the airport trying to get an Uber, and my phone was at 1%. It's like, that was less than a week ago, and I still haven't purchased, a backup option. But, you know, those are the decisions I've made. But not even to kind of be like blaming myself about it, but that's the reality of it. And if I just look at it like, okay, well, I just didn't go out of my way to get some backup options, so I don't have options that I prefer that are convenient to me, so now I'm going to have to inconvenience myself a little bit, maybe go call the neighbors, whatever, or knock on the neighbor's door at like 6:30 in the morning, do what you need to get what you need, or do nothing. I mean, skip work, wait around for someone to come back home. I don't know. There might be options. You know, and it can suck. It can suck. So, it's kind of normal to be, frustrated with things, but frustration also doesn't really help anything. Like, it's not resolving the issue, it's not problem solving it any faster. It's just, a way of expressing, disappointment of some kind. But, it can really be the direction that a person prefers to go sometimes. So, I don't really know what to say about it other than that, but I think sometimes shifting the mindset is a choice. We can just say, hey, I'd rather spend my energy problem solving this situation that I don't like, or at least providing myself self-care, versus making the situation worse by being stressed about it, and being down on myself about it, or down on someone else about something maybe that they didn't handle, and maybe they dropped the ball on something, and I don't know. So that's kind of how I'd probably look at it. But yeah, it's kind of a hard one, because I feel like I want to see what the next couple pages actually say. I'm not reading ahead at all either, but I want to see what the next couple pages say. Because yeah, that's not it's not super clear. Because I'm not trying to tell people not to feel anything, or to just smile and feel happy and forget about any pain involved or stress involved. But a lot of things do have solutions, and there are options, and there really isn't a need to, you know, take a take a take things to a level where there's so much stress attached to it. Now, if you're at risk of losing work or risk of some other thing not going well because of that, um, then that's a whole different story. But you know, um, or some people have some really serious situations going on that might be really bad health concerns or really bad news about their health or whatever. So some things are like serious, maybe don't have solutions. um and I think a lot of people lately are just going through a lot of stuff anyways. That's just a general climate, that everybody's got something that they're worrying on. A lot of people anyways, if not everybody. But like sometimes, that is life, and there are ups and downs. Sometimes the downs help us realize how good the ups are. I know for myself, whenever I get, like super happy, sometimes I'm just like, man, like it's almost like scary because you're like, okay, it might end, like it's gonna end. Not like my life or anything, but like it's like the happiness doesn't stay forever. So say if I'm coming out of a state of mind where I just wasn't enjoying myself, wasn't having a good time lately or something, maybe wanting things to go a different way or whatever it may be, whatever it is that I was wanting, might not happen. It might, but it might not. It might not happen. So, um, I don't know. That's kind of all that comes to my mind. But also, having empathy. Like, I feel like it's such a complex thing, that it's maybe best to take like multiple approaches, like feel the emotions, but don't just sit in the emotions of it, get some kind of problem solving, method down if that's possible, and practice self care as well. And then reflect on it once the situation's resolved. Just kind of reflect on things and how to handle things, and even if needed, getting some kind of backup stuff, just in case, because it's like a lot of times, you know, we kind of maybe don't have like super high anxiety about it, but like sometimes, you're in a store and you see something, you're like, oh, like I need to buy that just in case, like, and it's okay to not want a lot of clutter or stuff that you're not going to use immediately, but sometimes, you keep seeing things that you're like, oh, I could buy that, backup thing or whatever, and, just ignoring it. And then all of a sudden, something within that category happens that you would have needed that backup, and that would have helped. And so I know that's happened to me before, where it's like I'll be thinking about, something where I'm like, this could potentially, like I'm busy, I'm kind of scatterbrained today. I might lock my keys in the car, and there might be days where I've literally thought about locking my keys in the car, not on purpose, but it's crossed my mind, and I still do nothing about it. It's like, and then I end up locking my keys in the car, and it's like, how the heck? It's not like it's something I do all the time, but it's like I've done it enough to know that it's annoying, and never got a backup plan for it either. So things like that, where it's just like, okay, dude, like, sometimes the universe does speak, and sometimes we don't listen. So, just trying to take take situations as they come. Know that it's all temporary. If you work on it, on things, unless it's some kind of chronic situation, usually when you work to resolve something, it's going to get resolved and stuff like that. I mean, you're not going to be stuck outside all day. Um, but, there are definitely situations where something's like urgent, or like if the weather's bad and you're locked outside and it's like not Los Angeles weather. I mean, lately it might be actually uh, a not safe type of weather to kind of be locked out in, but usually in LA it's like, you could be locked out all night and it would just be uncomfortable, but you'd be fine. It's not gonna like damage your health, even if you had to miss a whole full day full of meals. This is like, you know, if you really have no other options. But I mean, you'd be fine you'd usually figure something out though, because in LA, unless you're in some really secluded area, which is very unlikely, but unless you are, or unless you're in an area where everything kind of closes early. Like there are some parts of the city where it's like Palos Verdes or something, where it's like you might not get good cell reception, and you might be up on that hill, and it's not like they have like a whole lot of major stuff that's open too late. Like they might have some gas stations, but there might not be other stuff open too late. And yeah, you might, like, you might have to just take your time with it. I think we've all had things happen, and we've all gotten through them, at least to the point where we can be listening to this, and you know we're past whatever that was that happened. So even when things happen outside of our favor, or outside of our preferences, or outside of our needs, usually we're able to problem solve. Humans are very good at problem solving. Sometimes our emotions can get in our way, but anyways, I hope that people get what they want, though. I never hope that people are, stuck in a bunch of, negative situations going on. And especially when it's like back to back ones, it's like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. But yeah. So, past couple days, or yesterday rather, basically I booked my trip. Started a new series. I feel like I was recording from like 10 to 2. I don't know. So it's a new relationship series talking about kind of the current dating situation. I can speak more to the millennial experience, though. I don't know if this is like cross generation or cross generational. But I don't know. But I checked, my healthcare, made sure I had that going down. Yesterday, figured out the car rental situation. Confirmed that I don't need to purchase the extra freaking expensive like car insurance, the liability and what's it called? Liability and collision, because I already have it through Geico. So I'm like, thank God. I mean, that's something I didn't confirm before, and I've rented a car twice so far, and after renting the car twice, I didn't I didn't figure it out. So yeah, that kind of thing can be a little bit annoying, but overall, it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, I was like, I'd rather just be covered. But yeah. So, at least I had too much coverage instead of too little coverage. But yeah, I'm excited about this relationship series. And Cross Festival this weekend. So I'll be down in San Diego till Monday, starting tomorrow afternoon. I will not be going to the mountains. I thought, excuse me. I thought I was gonna rent a car, go to the mountains, like today. But it turns out that's not gonna happen. Because the place where I usually go is closed. The highways are closed. So it's sunny here. It should be sunny there too, but they've never had this much snow before, and seems like they're going to work. It doesn't seem like they have a lot of workers, actually. I'm like, I know they're shoveling out everything, but it doesn't seem to me by the photos that they have enough workers shoveling. Like, I feel like they should maybe hire more people to do that amount of work. Because there's some places where the lifts are, like, stuck in the snow. Like the chairs. The chairs are, at the base, they're stuck in the snow. It's like the snow's so high that the chairs can't even really move. I mean, I don't know if you could just move, if you could just turn it on and if they would just move, but it just shows the depth of the snow. That it's pretty deep, and it's not usually that deep, so it's going to be an interesting thing to see once I actually get up there, but it's not going to be today. It'll probably be after this weekend. I mean, it can't be during the weekend because I got a concert to go to, and then I guess Monday I'll be driving back to LA, but I don't think I have plans Monday. So I'm gonna get back early, and then once I'm back, I gotta wait for the car pickup. I'm using Kite rental again. For me, that's the most convenient one, because it's like, I like them to just come bring me the car, pick up the car. Like, I haven't used it too many times, but the times I used it, once they were late by about an hour or something, to pick it up. But I'm not doing anything like back to back anyways, and so it wasn't, other than just wanting to sleep earlier or just like have it out of my hands earlier, as planned, it really wasn't that big of a deal. And so I'm just doing laundry this morning. I started laundry just before 7 a.m. Drinking my cacao. Gonna do some more recording and some writing today. And then that's basically my day. Like, I was gonna go to the AT&T store and get my hotspot set up, but I decided I don't care to do it. I'll call maybe Monday when I'm already out. I'll call and maybe I'll bring it with me and see if I can call and check what the rates are like and stuff. I need a data only SIM card. I think I accidentally got the wrong SIM card. I got like the phone SIM card from Google Fi. So, like, there were people saying that it would work, and then the more I kept reading, they were like, well, it works in one spot, and then, like, if, like, basically it doesn't really work the way it's supposed to. And so, yeah. I'm glad I found that out, though, before I purchased anything more. All the stuff, it's, you know, I can return it, so it's not a big deal. Um, but yeah, I want to see what the best plans are like. I'd want something similar to the Google Fi plan because it sounds like one of the better ones. But I don't know. I like that it doesn't have the um, like being locked in. That you're not locked into it. But I'm gonna be slow this morning, guys. I apologize. It's just, you know, I don't know if I really slept that good, honestly. Slept probably 6 something hours, maybe close to 7 hours, but I don't know. Last night was weird. I had a weird night. Like, I was just feeling a little strange. Um, and, yeah, but, yeah, I was like, I want to have a relaxing day today, so that's why I was like, let me lay off the coffee, because it might pump me up a little bit too much. Um, but I might need something a little more stimulating than this cacao. But we'll see. I like it because it's kind of chill. So I'm noticing the daylight's changing. You know, it's kind of nice. I always like that. I think even near 6, there was still a little bit of blue out last night. Yet last evening. So I kind of like that. It's like the sun's not going down at like 4 something anymore. It's like closer to 6, and you know, it's just kind of feeling a little more normal. I think we broke out of one of the biggest storms. I don't know, maybe one of the biggest storms in history lately, or in recent history, anyways. It doesn't look like we're having any more bad weather past this weekend, and it looks like I can see up to the following Saturday, and it looks like it's still going to be a little chilly. Lows in the 40s, highs in the 50s, reaching into the 60s some days. It's kind of funny. Like, I think people maybe like from other places, if they're listening to this, are probably like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, it's supposed to be like this. But I don't think a lot of people realize how the weather has been spoiling us over here in Southern California for the majority of my lifetime. Like, we have had some cold winters, but and like El Nino and all that kind of stuff, but you know, that's like what, every 10 years or something. Like, it's not like it's that often. And even some of the coldest winters, with the most snow, you know, we still drove up to the mountains with no chains. And so, but there were some times when they would turn people away. There were some stormy seasons, like when one of my friend's younger brothers was learning to drive. He would drive up a lot, and yeah, he's the only one I know that got kind of like turned away at the 138 or whatever. But I've never seen it so that like Bear and Mountain High are closed, and like they don't usually close like that for so many consecutive days. They don't usually get this much snow. So I mean, I've seen cars buried, like some of the footage where it's like there's cars that are like buried. I'm not sure if that's why they put the stick there, but it's like it looks like they have like sticks next to the cars, and it's like the cars are completely buried. Like you can't even see them. Like you just think it was like a little hill. Like they're completely covered in snow. My dad was saying where he's at, he has to dig out. You know, he parked somewhere and was digging, and then realized it was the wrong car. So we had to check a couple cars that were buried in snow. before he found his. I think he said he went inside somewhere. I don't know if it was like a Walmart or something like that for like 40 minutes or something. And when he came out, everything outside was pretty much buried. He says the whole time he's been where he's at, he hasn't even seen the actual road because it's been covered in snow. He hasn't seen the actual lines like on the street because it's been just snowing the whole time he's been there. So he got there in like January or so. So yeah, but he's just kind of, I think since mid-January he's been there, and the weather's been getting worse, but he's in an area where there's always weather and like bad weather this time of year. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if the storm is over. I don't know if it's a conspiracy and like some government is like doing this or whatever. That's the conversation out this way. People are like, it must be some kind of weird conspiracy because like we don't even believe that it could possibly be just like nature. We're just like, nah, this is a conspiracy. Like, this can't be right. Like, that is actually more likely for some of us to believe. I mean, I've played with the idea too, and I'm like, that does sound like it could be true. Like, I don't really know, but it's weird. Like, to have lived in a place where you've never seen certain kind of weather. I mean, I was sitting in my car yesterday recording, and I saw something I'd never seen before. Like, it was just a few seconds, but it was worth witnessing it, and I wouldn't have witnessed it if I hadn't been outside, because it didn't even last long enough to like go in the house, call somebody to come out, and wait for them to come out. By the time they would have come out, it would have been over. So it wasn't that long. It was just probably not even a full minute long, and I'm sitting there and I see I'm sitting in the car. It's sunny. Most of the skies are blue, and there's a little bit of a gray cloud over some areas, so I can see where I'm sitting in the car that there's a little bit of rain coming in. A little bit, not a lot, but it's just like a little bit of, I wouldn't even call it rain. It was just like drops, just like drops, kind of fatty kind of drops. Not like a lot of little ones, but like individual ones where it would be a lot to count, but you could count them. Like, you could count them. So that was happening for maybe like 5 minutes or so, just like rain, a little bit of rain. And then I start seeing, like, I don't even know if it's hail. Like, I don't know the difference between like hail and snow. I always just assumed hail was ice, little pieces of ice, and snow was like softer. And what I saw was probably 30 or so at max droplets that came down on my windshield, white. But because, like I said, it's sunny, so inside the car it's nice and warm and cozy. Outside the car it's windy, but the sun's out, so the metal, the windshield, everything's heated up. So even as the raindrops before were kind of hitting the window and stuff a little bit, it was kind of drying up right away. Not right away, but it was drying up, Like, the car wasn't completely wet, is what I'm trying to say. And I saw these things falling that were just like white drops. Like, the little raindrops started becoming white. But by the time they hit the windshield, they just would like melt. So I was like, okay, I don't know if this is hail, because it's not loud. Like, I'm sitting in the car, and when you're in the car and you hear hail, it's like those tinging, pinging noises, and then you look on the ground and there's like pieces of ice, But these were soft and white and pretty much sounded almost similar to the rain. Like, I could hear it hit the car, but they weren't regular raindrops. They were basically like frosty raindrops. And I was like, what the heck? Like, Like, it was weird. Like, it wasn't even that cold, honestly. Like, it was really, really windy. And, I mean, the mountains are just getting, like, multiple feet of snow. Like, they barely get, like, inches. Like, usually I'm, like, looking on there, I'm like, yes, a snowstorm of, like, 2 inches. And then, like, the whole year, it'll be, like, 12 inches of snowfall for, like, between November and April. And that'll be, like, a good year at Mountain High. It's like usually like if you even get to 20 something inches, and they're in the hundred something, by now, and it's like I don't even know what to say. Um, and usually too out here everything melts. By the time you open by the time the storm is over, it's Southern California. The sun's out, and so it's melting. Like everything's kind of melting. So Um, yeah, but I don't even know what to say about it, honestly. It's just like really weird. Um, it was a strange experience, but worth witnessing. I'll probably never witness it again. Unless this really is a conspiracy, then maybe I'll be witnessing it a whole lot more. But, and maybe at really weird different times of the year. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the government to try and experiment on methods to try to control the weather, but whatever. Like, I'm not gonna really sit around worrying about it too much. So long as the weather patterns are staying within, a certain kind of recognizable kind of thing. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe there's like weird frosty few seconds of rain, or it's raining all the time and snowing in the mountains a lot. It's not normal, but at least it's not happening in like June or July or something. Like, it's happening at the regular time that it should be bad weather. So, and it's not impossible for the weather to kind of change. Um, like, people who live in Alaska have been talking about, the glaciers getting smaller and smaller within their lifetime. Like, these are people in their 60s and their 40s who are saying that, like, yeah, they notice, like, when they go hunting, everything, and it changes everything in their environment. Things have already been warming up over there, uh, in a way that's very noticeably affecting their lives and their hunting and stuff. And then, you know, I mean, we've had some hot summers, but I don't know. Maybe I just noticed it more because we were kind of like outside a lot during the Rona, and also indoors a lot, but in the house where we didn't have like central air. So I was either in the house or like at the beach or park a lot. So I was either in the house with just like a fan in one window, or I was outside in the actual heat. So, you know, but yeah, we literally have old houses in, our in our area where you don't have central air. Like, I lived without central air until grad school, pretty much. Like, we opened the windows or closed the windows and put on a space heater, or maybe turned on the fireplace, or you know um, I think we only recently got fans. I don't remember even growing up having a fan. Well, maybe like little fans on occasion. But yeah, most of my lifetime the weather's been good, so there's a lot I've never had to think about. And that time that I skipped snowboarding not that long ago, coming into the month of February, but I went up to the mountains. I mean, it's just crazy that I wouldn't even be able to get to the hotel because it's off the 138. I wouldn't be able to get up there. So, and I don't have chains or anything, so I'm not even gonna think about it. But I gotta eat something. It's a little after 8 a.m. Gotta get some food in my stomach. Um, I'm kind of going a little all out with my foods here. Not not eating way too healthy. I've had some healthy days and some not so healthy days. Just because I had McDonald's yesterday, and I'm still trying to get through some. I ate the pasta last night, the eggplant parm, but yeah. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. And sorry, I know my brain is slow, but I'm trying over here. But I got some recordings that I'm gonna post for you guys. I hope you like the series. It's just something I've been talking about with some people lately, and I think it's worth recording because it seems like it's important. So I'm trying to make it pretty comprehensive because I do have the time to do it. I just feel like, maybe I need to get some rest. It's early still in the day. Like, I'm kind of not fully too energetic, honestly. Without the coffee, I'm really not that energetic. And, I mean, I'm kind of chill, but I feel like I'm, like, way too chill. Like, I don't feel sleepy. I just feel like I'm not super energetic at all. I have this, like, low energy that's kind of chill. Like, my head's in an alright space right now. Like, it was kind of in a little rough state when I first woke up, but once I kind of got going and got the laundry going and stuff, I was like, alright, let's just start the day. Start the day early, have the whole day to myself. I might just go sit out again in the car and chill outdoors in my car. Not right now, but I'll try to wait till after the mail carrier comes, so I'm not like sitting in the driveway when they pass me, because that's kind of creepy and weird. To just be like sitting in the car, because they come up the driveway. So they're probably used to it by now. I think everybody who's lived with me, they're kind of used to me sitting in the car. So it's kind of my go-to recording studio still. I mean, it doesn't have to be in this house too much, but it's like, it's just peace of mind and easier. I'd rather just sit out in the car, honestly. Like, I don't mind it. There's no harm in it. And it's cozy, and it's sunny, and I need the sun. Gotta get that vitamin D for sure, so. Alright, well, I'm not doing too much today, honestly. Just laundry mostly, and then recording, so, and writing. So, alright guys, this is kind of a long rambly episode, but hopefully you enjoy your days, and happy day 17. Thanks for listening. Or day 18? I don't even know, man. I'll put it in the description because I can't even remember what day it is. But it is March 2nd. So happy March 2nd. Alright.